Well, today we're with Suzanne Roberts, or Susan Roberts. I said it the wrong way. I don't know why. And just outside of Indianapolis, Indiana, a little town just outside of Indianapolis, and she has a very interesting story because she's she's independent, likes being an independent. Had came from an independent environment, did a little time with a big brand, but is here now with eXp and sort of as an independent with support. So just 1 second, and then we'll come back and we'll hear Susan's story. Hey, Susan.
Hi there.
Well, I'm really excited to hear more about what you got going on and learn a little bit about you. And the thing I love about the career of real estate is that we really are free to do, make our business the any way we want our business to be. And I know it's a big kind of common thing right now to have team, bigger team, bigger team, bigger team, and that's not really me too. And I think it's very refreshing that what you have chosen to do with your life and your business to stay, sort of independent. So tell me, I know you've been licensed for a while, but didn't really, you know, get into it, for a number of years. So just, briefly kind of tell us your story.
Okay, I actually, when I got, we'll start way back at the beginning. When I got my real estate license, I did it because I had a really bad personal real estate deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Heard that
thought to
one
myself,
before.
this can't be that hard. Well, I was kind of wrong about that, but I learned a lot doing it by getting my
Yeah.
license. And it's kind of what prompted it. And at that time, I had uh, another small business that I did, which I still have. I just kind of dabble in it now. I don't do as much in it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I had to be I went with a regional brokerage right after my real estate license because I had to. I wanted to get my broker's license because I wanted to be an independent broker. And you had to be with another broker for a certain amount of time. So I did that.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe I got my broker's license in 2004. So up until 2015, something like that, I remained just an independent broker, just doing a few deals every year, um,
Mm-hmm.
friends and family, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went with the big box brand, and of course those were the years where I really did a lot, and I really ended up paying them a bunch of money. Um,
Yeah.
and I wasn't real happy about that.
It's kind of surprising to me. I know you and I are both sort of students of the game, but it's surprising to me the number of agents who don't really understand how much it's really costing them to pay you're paying your broker for a service, right? The broker doesn't hire you, you hire them. And you have to figure out how much you're going to pay them for the service they provide. And so many people just aren't really in tune to that. Are they getting the value for their money? So
True.
it it seems like at one point you kind of added it up and said, for the amount of money I'm paying, I'm not getting the value. And what was it like? I mean, I'm not going to tell you your story. You can.
You mean what was it like at the big box brokerage?
And why did you decide to change? Yeah.
Well,
Why did
okay.
you? Well,
All right. So, I went with them. One of the reasons I went with them was like, well, if I'm going to get really serious about this, I need some more training because I'd been independent for so long, and
mm-hmm,
I needed to catch up, and I needed to know the bells and the whistles. I needed to learn lead gen and all that sort of thing. Uh,
mm-hmm,
when I got there, even after the first 2 years, I just wasn't getting it. There wasn't, we had Tuesday meetings, but every other brokerage in the world did too, and it just wasn't there. What
mm-hmm.
I was looking for just wasn't there. There was absolutely no individual help, even though I had quote a mentor. And when I signed up, she, believe it or not, she left and moved to Florida. So I ended up with zero mentor. Um, and I was thinking about, I was a little discouraged with the whole thing. And so one of the things that I did to learn was, because, gray hair, social media was like something I didn't really understand or I didn't know about. And I wanted to learn how to do Facebook ads. So I have no clue where I even came across it, but I'd been following some guys for a while, and that were coaches, and they were putting on a seminar there in Arizona on doing Facebook ads. So I thought, well, great, I'm going to go do that. It was in the fall, so it was kind of cold where I live and a lot warmer there. So I thought, well, this is a good deal too. And I went there and I found out a couple things. I learned a lot about Facebook. I learned that with my big box brokerage, I couldn't put my Facebook pixel on my website, but I felt like it was my website. Come to find out, it really wasn't mine, it was theirs. Um, and I was just kind of discouraged, and I was already discouraged when I got there. So when I was presented with the eXp program, which I have to laugh, because this was back in at the very end of 2016. The presentation was really really poor from what I know now. I mean, it was some slides that they were flipping back and forth through an iPad and didn't really know, you're kind of bumbling through it.
Mm-hmm.
But when I started to think about it, and I thought about it all that night after I saw it, they kind of, one of the things you hear is that once you see it, you can't unsee it,
Very true.
which was really, really true with me. And it just made so much more sense to me because of all the other opportunities, multiple income streams. But it really wasn't even that. It was because I could still be independent,
Mm-hmm.
but I had all the collaboration and I had all the help and I had people that I could go to. So that was just a game changer for me. So I
Mm-hmm.
came back, I thought about it, like for another week, and ended up signing up.
Yeah. They talk about culture, at companies. What's your culture? You leave because of the culture, which I heard you tell me before, but you stay because of the culture. And the culture at EXP is collaboration.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
collaboration. Yeah.
Everybody is so willing to help you. And sometimes when you get in when you're just surrounded by agents that are in your area,
Yeah.
they don't want to tell you anything. They
No.
don't really, really want to help you because they're afraid that you'll take off and fly and take some of their business, which is crazy because there's plenty of business for everybody.
Right.
So
Right.
you're in Wyoming, right?
I'm
What
in
county?
Nevada, Reno,
Yeah,
Nevada. Yeah.
you're in Nevada.
Nevada, close to Wyoming. We're close.
Close, yeah.
Yeah.
One of those places out west from me. Yeah. So
Well, and, the other thing I found too is they say real estate is local. And for me, and I didn't realize how much this had happened until after I made the change, but I was feeling kind of stagnant and I needed some new ideas. And once I got out and, joined EXP, uh, I really found that I had been living in sort of a local bubble,
uh-huh.
and there was so much else available, even though, trainers, and we were both with the same company before, which, had many good things about it. But, even though the training you get maybe have been written by somebody nationally, it's being delivered locally. And, this has just opened up my eyes to, what all, what all is possible. So your vision for yourself is to remain sort of, you tend toward being an independent, right?
Yes, yes. I don't want to be, I would like to have a couple assistants, and some days I'd like to have three or four, but I don't want a huge team. That's
Yeah,
not me at this stage in my life. That's not my desire to build a huge team.
yeah,
And I think that's great. I mean, that you can be and you can format yourself any way you want to within EXP.
right.
There's so many opportunities and so many different things that you can do. Yeah, having a big team is definitely not my goal at all.
Well, so how do you get new ideas? How do you collaborate? And what has your experience being at EXP with that goal in mind done for you?
Well, okay, so for starters, our particular group, and I don't know how much other people know about EXP, but there's different groups within it depending on who you're, what are they called, upline, downline, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And my mentor or sponsor within EXP, our group has a private team suite in the world, and only our agents within this group can go into it. And we have a meeting every Tuesday, and we have so many different coaches and people that you can go to. They have their own little office in there that you can try
Hmm.
your little avatar in and talk to. Um, and you can find out about anything that you need to know with
Hmm.
this group of people. And for me, it was just eye opening. I mean, honestly, it seems like every single Tuesday meeting that I attend, I learn just a little nugget new, just
Hmm.
something new that's going to improve, what I do going forward. Because you can become very stagnant. You can become very stagnant in a local brokerage where you don't
Hmm.
have all the outside influence of
That's
other
where I
people
was.
doing other things or somebody testing something. I mean, the greatest thing in the world is don't invent it yourself. Just copy it. Do
Right.
what somebody else is doing that's been successful. Do it with
Right.
somebody else that has done it, that has done the split testing in Facebook, and this works and this doesn't work, or that doesn't work. I mean, it's really phenomenal.
Yeah. Well, so another thing that has occurred to me is that you mentioned that there are sort of, when you are sponsored, you have to be sponsored to come in. And so when you are sponsored, that person has responsibility for your success, as does the person who sponsored them and the person who sponsored them. And there are these
Correct.
wonderful collaborations between sort of family, a family tree of people. But it's also been my experience that if I'm just on a general, let's say, Facebook group with other EXP agents, and I'll say, "Oh, that was an interesting system. What what kind of are the steps?" They're like, "Give me your email address. I'll just shoot it to you."
Yep.
Isn't just like that. There's no catch, no anything, no money changes hands, nothing. It's just the help is tremendous.
Right. And I know that you and I are not in the same group. We're not in
Right.
the same market or anything. But I guarantee you that if I really wanted to know something or I saw something that you were doing, like for instance, I think your website's amazing.
Thank you.
And I could say, hey, Kathy, where did you get that? How did you do it? How is it performing for you? You'd be more than happy to tell me.
And I got that website because I asked my sponsor, what should I do? He goes, here, do this, and here's the person that'll tweak it for you. And that was all the decision making I had to do about it. And you know,
Exactly.
it was easy, and where I had struggled for years to try to figure that out on my own.
Right. And that's what I said about let somebody else do it. Let somebody else figure it out for you.
Hmm.
And they can help you with it.
Hmm.
And they're more than happy to.
So if there was a person out there who said, I just want to do, the nice thing is that we're set up. EXP originally sort of started to be all virtual, which was way
Correct.
ahead of their times. Now, if you look at what's going on now, and I didn't come then because that's not what I wanted. I wanted to be I wanted to have an office. And now I don't know what the split is, but between people who are like you're at your home office working and I'm at my
Right.
office working. I don't know, how many people prefer that, but there's just so many different options you have. So like you are doing it the way you want to do it, and you have the ability to get all the national input and do it the way you want to do it. So if there's somebody out there who is, of the independent broker nature, right?
Right.
If you're an independent broker, you have costs, you have responsibilities, you have lots of things.
You have
Um,
E&O. It's scary.
it is scary, which is why I don't do it.
Yeah.
Um,
Liability. Woo-hoo.
the liability, I choose to delegate that. but if somebody is, that that's what they want in their life, what would you say to them about since you've been both an independent and now are an independent within EXP? What advice would you give?
I would tell them that the best thing ever is to let somebody else take over the liability.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is, it was getting quite expensive,
Mm-hmm.
and the thought of ever being sued was very scary. I mean, I have not really had to change much of anything that I do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's been, it's been great. Like I said, I still dabble just a little bit in my other business.
Yeah.
If if I was with some broker, just like they wouldn't, if I had to show up at an office every day, they wouldn't want me doing any of that there. And I
Yeah.
don't blame them. And I can work. I work a lot of hours. I work a lot of times, well into 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I can do that if I want to.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Or not if you want to.
or not. Yeah, exactly. Or not. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm not your get up at 5 a.m. person.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, at this point in time, it's just not going to change. I've
Right.
tried to create all
Right.
those new habits and it does not work for me.
Yeah.
It hasn't, and it's probably all just a mindset up here. But yeah, I think that you can make it anything that you want to, and anything that you do is what you choose to make it.
Yeah.
And I could not be more pleased and happy that I decided to make this change and,
Yeah.
and to go with EXP. And that's discounting I mean, and I'm not even talking about the stock, which I got at a really low price because I came in so early, and and the rev share aspect of it, which I really have not gotten into a great deal. I've not
Mm-hmm.
done a lot of it, but that's sort of one of my goals for this year that I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to work on.
Yeah, that is the great thing about EXP. I mean, it's really all about what it's going to do for your business. And oh, yeah, there are these other benefits that you're not going to get anywhere else. The stock is a great benefit, and that's what makes us all in together, right? That
Exactly.
lends toward the spirit of collaboration, because the more I help you, the more it helps all of us, and we're
Exactly.
all, share freely because we're all in this big thing together.
And you
And
want the company to grow.
and then, to frankly, for me, I liked the appeal of being able to have another pillar of income in the form of rev share, because I want to scale back here pretty soon, and not have to worry about selling real estate, to have I have a passive stream of income, and it's very comforting.
Right. And I honestly, I would like to be able to leave something to my children that would
That's
continue to,
right.
quote, percolate as we go along. And I
Yep.
can't think of any other way that you can do that unless I was, massive in the stock market, and it has its ups and downs. So
Yeah, sure. That rev share is completely willable, inheritable,
yes,
and so that's great. Well, you know what? It has been an absolute delight chatting with you and getting your refreshing perspective on everything. And I know that this is going to help somebody. So we
I hope
really
so.
appreciate. I really appreciate your time, and anybody this might help is really going to appreciate your time. So let's keep in touch. Reach
Will
out,
do.
need anything. I made a new friend across the country. It's
We
been
did.
good.
We did. Awesome. Thanks, Kathy.
Okay, thanks a bunch.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.